Cincinnati Reds and Kansas City Royals make a deal. A trade that actually was rumored for the last couple weeks here. So the Royals trade Brady Singer to the Cincinnati Reds for Johnathan India and Joey Wiemer. So I think this Kansas City Royal team is good in this trade. Johnathan India, obviously a great rookie season he had a few years ago for the Cincinnati Reds. In the last couple years, numbers have been serviceable, but nothing eye-popping. 2023, 17 home runs, 61 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, 78 runs scored, a 244 average, and a 338 on base. And last season, 15 homers, 58 RBIs, 13 bags, 248 average, at 357 on base, and 84 runs scored. So India, we know he's got some pop at second base. We know he as well could steal some bases, and his on-base percentage has been good throughout his major league career. So someone who can hit 15, 20 homers a year, driving 55, 65 run range, and 15, 20 stolen bases is definitely a possibility here for Johnathan India. I know he's going from a bandbox to a decent pitcher's park in Kansas City, but I believe Johnathan India maybe needed a change of scenery, and this year could be one of his better years of dates going into fantasy drafts in February, March. I think India 8th to 10th round range for fantasy owners. Like I said, second baseman's been a weak position for the most part over the last few seasons, and now India with a new team I think could go out there and put up numbers. So definitely a viable fantasy option, even though he's going from a bandbox to a little tougher of a hitter's park in Kansas City. Now to Joey Wiemer, a former top prospect years ago. It's his third team and his many seasons going to the Kansas City Royals. So this Royal team, we know their pitching was good last season, led by Seth Lugo, led by Michael Wacha, and they just needed some bats in the lineup. And to get two bats for Brady Singer, I think was a good deal. So Wiemer, he had a cup of coffee in the majors last season. No home runs, a stolen base, 2 runs scored, a 154 average, a 214 on base. For 2023, he got legit playing time half the season with the Brewers. 13 home runs, 42 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, 48 runs scored, a 204 average, and a 283 on base. So like I said, we haven't seen much obviously in the major leagues from Joey Wiemer, but definitely a top prospect, and maybe in his third stint with a different team now, we could see a breakout for him. So there's a possibility he could win a corner outfield spot, but I think it's either going to be a backup spot or someone who starts in the minor leagues for this Royal team. So in terms of fantasy baseball, someone to keep in mind, but not draft, obviously, on your draft day. And now to Brady Singer, we know the Cincinnati Red team, they needed pitching in a big way. They had a lot of injuries last season. A lot of pitchers didn't pitch well for them. And now you're bringing Brady Singer, who's had a couple successful seasons in his major league career, but now going from Kansas City, where hit his ballpark in a bandbox in Cincinnati, would definitely drop his value down. So he's a back end 15th round or later pick for the back end of your rotation and bench spots for fantasy owners. So the last couple years for Singer, 2023, 159 and 2/3, 8-11 record, 133 Ks, a 5.52 ERA, 1.49 whip, and 9 quality starts. But last season, he definitely turned the season around, and he was an innings eater again. 179 and 2/3, 9-13 record, where records really aren't a big thing anymore in the major leagues. 170 Ks, 3.71 ERA, a 1.27 whip, and 13 quality starts. He was way better last season than he was in 2023. He got back to that 21-22 form last season with Singer, and now they got a good second baseman in the deal for him. So this trade helps both teams. Kansas City needed help at second base, and we know this Red team, they had a desire to get some starting pitching, and they get Brady Singer, who obviously isn't on a big contract. So the Cincinnati Reds, Kansas City Royals make a deal that was rumored for a couple weeks here, with Brady Singer going to Cincinnati and Johnathan India going to the Royals with Joey Wiemer. And we'll see if both these players can help their new teams and fantasy owners enter in the 2025 season.